Hmm. Okay. So let me wait for some time. Today, what I'm trying to do is implement Razorpay for one of the product which I was building, and so I thought, why don't I create a video out of it? Okay, I have been doing a little bit of reading on different tutorials which were available to integrate Razorpay, but didn't get too comfortable with those, and hence I decided to do this. Hey, hi Bhushan, good evening. Okay, so I'm thinking of starting with a very basic setup. I just have a database in here. What we will do is, let me write down a few things. So we will create a product stable where we will have maybe one or two product. Then we will have a few users. Okay, we will not create a login for it, but definitely we'll get the context of the user. The most of the code will be inside the web.php and api.php, but the idea is to get the integration in place, and then later on I will improve on the implementation of it. But yeah, the basic communication should be in place. That's the idea. So we will have products, we will have users who will buy that product. There will be an orders table which we will need to capture that information. Okay, so that is what we are trying to do. Let me put that as maybe in here. Okay, Chinmay is here as well. Hi Chinmay, good evening. Okay, and right, so the first thing which I have done apart from installing Laravel is obviously getting the env in place. If you go to your Razorpay dashboard, you can see I was playing around a lot with this. This is not live. I don't have so many payments as of now, but what I have done is I went to the API keys and I created this API key over here. I don't know if I can regenerate, but I don't know how I can create one. But obviously this is one account which I'm not planning to use for production as well. So yeah, I used it for just testing purpose. I don't have the KYCs and stuff, so obviously it will not go in live mode. It's still in test mode, as you can see, right? So there are transactions which were happening, and that's what we are trying to do today. We will create transactions and we will ensure that everything is properly working. Now in terms of Razorpay docs, it is important that you are able to follow along their documentation as well. It's quite good, but I felt some of the things could have been a little more requires a little more explanation, I would say, and hence this video should help you. There is the SDK thing. This is API reference web integration server implementation PHP, right? This is the one. Okay, so let's get started with the basic models first quickly, and then we will see how much we can cover today. And if I'm getting too late, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. It's Sunday, so I'll have some time as well. All right, so first products, right? PHP artisan. Okay, migrations. What are we trying to create in here? Let's just say our thing is a book, not nothing fancy. So name, let's just say we have not integer, float. Okay, float takes the price, total 10 comma 2, something like this. Okay, I am not going too into too details about it being active and everything else, because that's beyond the scope of this video. But definitely what we will do is, this is the model factory. I don't need the factory. Let's just simply model product guard, guarded, right? Okay, guarded. Now this is shortcut, you should not do it, but or rather, okay, fine. Protected fillable, doesn't take too much time anyways. So yeah, name and price. Okay, this is done. I should have actually created these things. Could have saved a little bit of time, I think. Anyways, product create. So I'll go for 1 hour and then maybe continue again tomorrow if I'm not able to do the entire thing. And price 100, something like this. PHP artisan migrate, and I have seed as well. But what I will do is I'll actually use my shortcut, which basically does migration and runs the seed as well. Okay, and so what is going to happen is I'll get certain tables in here. Razorpay, I'm not getting everything else. Why is that? Oh, my bad. That's because I used the wrong database. That's fine. I typically keep this empty because I make these kind of mistakes. Right. Okay. So we have products. Right. Products. Oh. DB seed. That's weird. Product created. FILLABLE fillable. Oh, create. I always forget that the autocomplete somehow gets created. I never know why that happens, but okay. So that's done. Let's create I would say a blade file where we can get the listing in place. So list dot blade dot php. Okay, and web dot php. Okay. I have only one, so it really doesn't matter. and return view. What I created was list with like this. Okay, and products as $product, and what I will do is so with this in place, I should get this. Okay, I'll have some kind of a button so that now we can, if required, take it to maybe a page. Yeah, I'll have a buy button. So actually, for now, just create a form and do the buy button. We will do that. Okay, so now sample code. Let's come over here. The first thing that we need to do is, see, we have these steps you can follow, but basically what they're saying is this is the setup. You go to the dashboard, you create the API keys, which I have already done, and then I need to, for any Razorpay activities, I need to create the API, okay, from the Razorpay API, and then interact with it. Okay, so how do I get that? PHP client, it has composer library which I can use, so I'll just import that. Okay, all right. Now before I dive in, it's a good idea to generally see how the package is laid out. So if you go inside Razorpay in the vendor folder, right, source, you will see they have all the classes over here. They have API. If you see the constructor, where it takes the key and the secret, okay, and this is the URL. We are using v1, so these are some of the protected static variables which will be used when we create an instance out of it. And then what they say is, oops, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, and then there are classes which I can use from here. So I can use order, I can use utility. We will touch upon all of them. Okay, so let's go over that one by one. Right, sample code. In here I have the first thing, which is we need to create an order. Okay, if you see my dashboard as well, right, you will see there are transactions, there is payments, refunds, and orders. Now it means it is not necessary that all orders will finally get converted into a payment, right? So, and you can see I have quite a few which is just created. Okay, as per Razorpay, I think there are 3 types of states to an order, which is created, then there is attempted, and then the final one is payment. I think paid. Yes. So the attempted is if for some reason it fails, they keep that status over there. I couldn't get that into integration, so I don't know. But yes, the created and paid are definitely there. So we will first see how the created happens. Okay, we are right now at 7:36 today's time. That was the last transaction which I tried. Okay, now we will create one. So I'm on this page. What I will do is I have this thing. So $API equals API. Okay, and API key and API secret, right? So we will practically steal this. Okay, now I need these two. How do we do that? Let's go to services.php config file. Okay, I'll have maybe Razorpay. The first one is, they call it key, right? So Razorpay key. Oh, env Razorpay key and secret, like this. So once this is done, I can do config services.razorpay.key razorpay.secret. Okay, so that this client is now ready for me. I can do a dump and see what is coming over here. Let's just see. Oops, not this one. Over here. Right, we have something in place. So let's go to sample code again. Now they say that the order can be created just by these three things. Okay, so that's quite easy to do. Let me copy this part. Okay, and right, I feel a bit uncomfortable nowadays with this syntax of array. I'm kind of grown used to this shorthand. Okay, how do we do that? Right, I think what I made a mistake about the view is, if there is a listing, right, it should eventually go to a buy page, and we will get to that, right? Something like this. Okay, and quickly, this is the product, get product by, something like this actually. So what will happen is, I can easily pass the price and everything from the product. That's the idea, right? Let me see. I have this as name product.view, or rather by. This is route product come PRODUCT product. Wow, autocomplete is not working. Okay, and route bracket close should work, I think so. Okay, right. So now what I can do here is print the order, but before I do that, receipt 123, right? I can, so the receipt is basically a unique, I would say, ID which you can pass along, which can be an identifier for you to detect what was the ID when it went to the payment gateway. Okay, but let it be something like str string. Wow. UUID. Why is it not taking that? Okay, I have the helper function as well, right? What happened to my IntelliFence? Timestamp. Maybe this one will work. Okay, and product price. Okay, I don't need a bracket, sorry, into 100 because it's still complaining. Yeah, this is important because I'm saying that it is an INR. Yep, Chinmay, I typically, right, it used to import it. I don't know why today it is not happening. At least my PHP Storm does that, but let's see. Okay, where was I? Right, this should create an order. Let me see. And it does. Right, so this is my order ID. Amount is correct because Razorpay says you need to send it in, the not with the decimals. So in INR we will have to send it in Paisa because then the calculations become easier. Okay, that's a very done thing. So yeah, now you can see it came up with status as created, amount paid 0, amount due amount, and entity is order. Entity is right, an order, correct. Okay, receipt is something which got generated, and this is the order ID. So now if I go to dashboard, this is my orders tab. I refresh. Come on. Right. Yes. What is this? 1, 2, 3. Okay. That refresh did create one order, but you can see now I have this thing 100, right, with our receipt ID. So this order got created. It is still in created mode. Okay, which means there's no payment made to that. Okay, fine. So the basic step is done. Now what is the next step for us? Sample application, or right, this is right. So you can see yeah, actually this PHP client, right, this documentation is something which I was referring to. The sample code was a little confusing, but yes, so we have receipt and then 39900 rupees in paise, right? That's why we did that. So Razorpay order is API order create. That's what we did, right? Now with this in place, what will happen is we need to have a button over here through which we can actually make the payment, right? So let me do one thing. We don't have a page for the detail, right? I just created this. So let's create one more blade file, which is buy.blade.php. Okay. Buy. I am buying. I'll get the product, right? So I'll do product name. Okay, and have price, product price, something like this. Okay, With, so I need to send the order. Okay. But what we will do is, first of all, return view by. Okay. I need to send the order, so that is one thing. Or maybe not, actually. You know what, see, I'll show you the documentation. This is the data which needs to go as part of the checkout parameters. So it's a huge array. What I will do is, this is the order, right? And maybe okay, I'm creating the order over here. Let's just say I do a JSON data over here. This is the checkout parameters which I will pass, and there are quite a few key. Okay, it's not. Okay, not working. I can't take a shortcut. It's going to take some time. Sorry about that. The prefill I can skip. Okay, the prefill is basically a way for you to fill up some of the information in the form. Okay, what mistake have I done? Key, this is fine, this is fine. Okay, and it will not get the key. Key was what? I forgot. Just a second. It is there in the documentation. Key is the API key, which means it is this. Amount is obviously, again, this will be in, yes, denomination of pesos. So amount to be paid by customers, subunits, in currency subunits. Okay, that's what they say. Okay, fine. So yes, let's look at the subunits. I'll do this again, which actually doesn't make sense, but fine. For now, my product, something like this. Okay, and then I'll have data, JSON data, something like this. Okay, right. So this is my view where the order data will go in. Now the important piece over here is, so the key, amount, name, blah blah blah, this is all fine. The important thing is this. Okay, so order ID, it is going to be order. Do I still have the data in my console? Yes. So it's an array, and this is my ID. So array ID, right? So we are ready, kind of. So let's do the journey once more. I'll click over here, and it says undefined variable product. Obviously, that's fine. Product is product. Okay. This, once it is done, it's ready, and I now need to work upon the form. I forgot one thing. Now you can see I will have quite a few orders in here. So every time I refresh the page, I am actually creating an order. You can see 1, 2. Okay, so after that there are 2 more. So let's keep the refreshes to minimum. I'm still using the trial account, and I don't want them to be bombarded with these things. Okay, and yeah, so the first thing is I need pay with Razorpay. That's fine. Then they are loading a script which is coming from Razorpay, which is fine. So no questions asked there. Why not use compact over multiple width? Okay, this, right? I feel this to be a little convenient because, like, I created this JSON data, right? And I have the ability to change the name. Plus, this doesn't grow in one line. Okay, and that's why I prefer this way of doing things. It allows me to read this a little better. Okay. Okay, Tanzim is here as well. Hi, Tanzim. What are the top payment gateways in India? Oh, there are quite a few. Paytm is a payment gateway. Yes, they. I think they are. I mean, I know Razorpay. There is quite a few. I decided to use it. Paytm, is it a payment gateway? It's a payment processor for sure. But yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Right. So they have a script tag and then they have a form. They have a form where they are making a post call, which is fine. They have hidden fields. So let me copy this. Yes, I think they have. Okay, so Paytm, yes, Tanzim. So yes, Paytm also has payment gateway thing. Yeah, I guess yes, Chinmay, you are correct. They have a thing. Once my friend said that he had implemented it for it. It was quite tricky at that point, but yeah. Okay, so I have this form. The button is outside. That's a bit weird. Oh, they are triggering it through the JavaScript, and hence the button is outside. Yeah, I remember. Okay, so I have a form, and this verify will not work PHP. So we will create a route. It's a form submit. It's a form submit. So the token can become a problem, right? What I will do is rather create an API.php file, because then I don't need a CSRF token. Or maybe let's try. When I did this, I created an API.php route. So I'll do payment verify. Oh, that's the route name. So I'll keep it at this. Form name is fine. CSRF underscore field. Okay, this should give me that thing. And web.php route post dash verify function request in here. First of all, I need to name it. Let's at the bare minimum do not return, rather yeah, we can return as well, I think. So request all. Okay, that's the basic step which we will follow and see what happens, right? So the form submit will happen, but before the form submit we need to write the JavaScript which they have. Okay, they are sending a variable where options, which is a JSON. So let's do that. I'll have to open up a script tag, and this for me is data. So I'll do @JSON data. Okay, and then they have options.handler. The entire list of checkout field is available. Okay, so whatever I pass over here is available to me here once the Razorpay payment is complete. So what we will do is we will obviously take this here and paste it, but I will also console log the response because we want to see what is coming in. Okay, then we create the instance of Razorpay, and on click of the button we are opening it up, right? So document.get element by ID Razorpay button, which is my form over here, right? It is binding an on click, and Razorpay.open. Uh-oh. Hey, Chinmay, thank you for that, but I don't know whether I will get it or not because I haven't done any connection with my YouTube. The only thing is the monetization. But yeah, I really appreciate your, courtesy. Thank you. Okay, so on click, we open the Razorpay.open and it is doing a prevent.default. So now we are in a position to do something with that particular page. I click. I'm here and wow, nothing happened. That's a bad start. Let's see. There should be something. Right. It says uncaught error, invalid options. Invalid options is because, interesting. Why is this like this? Shouldn't have been the case. Options is @JSON. Oh, yeah. This switching between JavaScript and PHP is kind of killing me. I was thinking of this as a JavaScript thing, and I did that. Anyways, so one more order. Okay, so this is done. Razorpay. Right, we have our dialog box. Now, I'll show you what that thing was meant for, right? Name, email, contact, right? So I am going to pre-fill it. Come over here and web.php. This is the one, right? Name, descriptions, and everything. So pre-fill. I miss TypeScript in these situations because with TypeScript I get all these autocompletes and you don't need to refer to your documentation again and again. The next one was email. Oops. Reach me at freud.com. The last one was phone number, right? Okay, so that I don't want. Okay, leave it. Okay, go back. One more order to create. That's not what I was trying to do. Refresh. Right. Come over here. Right. I have my payment data. So this is primarily, if you see, how do you say? Most of the time, the users who will purchase are going to be authenticated users, right? They're part of your application. So it really doesn't make sense for you to take that information. And if you already have, for example, email, then just do populate that. That's why it is there, and it's a good thing. It's so easy to do such kind of tricks with the UX. It's nice. You should definitely do this. Okay. Obviously, there are other things like changing the color and everything, but that's fine. Now, one thing, Razorpay test cards. Yeah. So you get quite a few test cards. Okay. And I tried this one. It even sent me an OTP on my mobile phone, which I really liked. I'll show you one. Okay, and then we will use the net banking because it doesn't send any SMS or anything, so we are not going to bombard with all these testing SMSs for them. Okay, so yeah, let's try with this. Proceed. Okay, I need a phone number. That's interesting. Okay, yeah. So they have all these things in place. You can see with just this much line of code, where is our blade file? With only this few lines of code, I have practically implemented so many payment gateways. Okay, Airtel Money, whatnot. But yeah, right now we are testing our Oh, okay. I need to get the card number. Fine. Let's do net banking. Okay. So now I'm saying it is HDFC. What's that? Okay. I can search Bank of Maharashtra, right? Everything is here. So then we do pay. Okay. Now they will say this is just a demo blank page. You can choose whether to make this payment successful or not. I say let's make it a success. The happy path needs to be tested first. So what do we get in here? We get a few things, obviously. The first thing is the response. Okay. This is the response coming from Razorpay to us. It has order ID, payment ID, and signature. Okay. And they have said, so let's go down. Yes, success callback, correct? So the success callback has these three things, which is true, but it doesn't have the doesn't have it in the how do you say, the response which I got. So as you can see, this is the console which I added over here, line number 26, line number 26, correct? But what I am returning, where is my return? Come on, yeah, is request all, which means in my post data, I don't have the order ID. That's a little problematic. So yeah, that's problematic because what I can save before sending the information to Razorpay is only the order ID. Once I get a confirmation from Razorpay that the payment was done, I need to consolidate my payment, right? I need to say that yes, this user purchased that book, and maybe I will allow him to download. To confirm this, I need to map it to something. Right now, what I am getting is a payment ID and a signature, which I can't relate to. I don't know what it is. I can't relate it to a user. So what we will do is, here's the thing. Go back to our Blade file. We have two fields in here. Both of them are hidden. Let's add one more, which is our order ID. Okay. Name, ID, and what they are doing is very simple. I'll add this like so. Okay. By the way, I have one more successful payment. If I show you over here, 10:34. So after 7:36, after 3 hours, I have one more payment, right? So this is the one which we just did. You can see the details are here. Phone number is here. Total fee, Razorpay fee. So out of 100, I'll get something. Obviously, this is test mode, so I get none. Anyways, so yeah. So now if I try to let me see. Right. So we are appending this in the form, and I should then get the order ID as well, right? So let's try once more. Document. This is my so-called product catalog. I click pay with Razorpay. Okay, proceed. Right. Okay. Why don't I actually populate it? Is it mobile or phone? It should be mobile, if I'm not wrong. Okay, contact. That's interesting. And they have... fair enough. Let's get back over here. Refresh. Okay. Click Right, everything is in place. Pay, select pay. We have this success. All right, we have the order ID as well. Now, here's an important thing. Let's come over here. See, what we have done is store fields in server. So a successful payment returns the following fields into the checkout form. Make provision to store these fields on your server. You can confirm the authenticity of these details by verifying the signature in the next step. Now, this is very, very important. So what I'm saying is when we get an API call or a post call back to our server with these three things, we should not blindly accept that this is correct information. Okay, because some hacker can actually get that information. I'll show you why I'm saying this. Okay, right now my implementation has this script tag. Where did it go? Blade file. Do you see this JSON? Right, I did that, but the problem is in here. Can you see that if I refresh, open up the script tag, there should be an order ID. Right, this is the order ID, as you can see, which means now if I can somehow get an CSRF token and I creating a session and I mock this order ID and send some post data, I don't know, a hacker can do it. Maybe he can make a successful payment. You can see if I go to orders, this is the order that we are talking about, right? So I need to confirm somehow that the post data which I got back, right, that is authentic, that is coming from Razorpay. So what they say is, come over here. This is mandatory step that allows you to confirm the authenticity of the details returned to the checkout for successful payment. Okay, and this is where I was stuck for a long time. All these, if you go to the transaction list, right, all these transactions. I mean, the first implementation was so easy. 539, 548, and I was done. And then I was figuring out how to do the how do you say, the verification, because the documentation was not very clear. Okay, I had to figure this out. So now they are saying, this, you create a signature in your server using the following attributes. Okay, blah blah blah. But believe me, it's not that tricky. What basically we need to do is, where is the source? There was something which was very, very trivial. Where did it go? I'll show you, just a second. Sometimes I get lost in the documentation, but I know it is here somewhere. Come on. Don't play games with me, please. Wow, I really know it is here somewhere hidden. It has those tabs for different languages. Verify payment signature. Okay, this is also doing the same thing, but fair enough. The documentation I was looking for was much simpler one. Verify payment status. No, that's the same thing. Okay, but okay, let's see what they are doing. This is the API. Okay, and after that, these are the attributes. Okay, post this, then API utility verify payment signature. Now, although this is not mandatory for you to understand or go through the code, but what is basically happening is, as I told you, API is calling the utility class. Okay, and this utility class has this verify payment signature. It takes the Razorpay signature, the payment ID, the order ID, or the subscription ID if it is a subscription renewal. Okay, basic things, and then it calls the verify signature. And what it does is it's taking the actual signature. Okay, that's the second parameter. It takes the payload. The payload is the payment ID, pipe, subscription ID. Okay, or in our case it will be payment ID, order ID, pipe, payment ID, and that's the string which is going here, and then the secret. That is how the signature is tested, which means no one can fool the signature which is coming, because Razorpay knows your secret key, and Razorpay can encrypt that information and send a signature, and then our secret on our API server will be used to match those strings, and then we can say that yes, it works. Okay, that's the logic behind doing this verification. Okay, now you don't need to go through the code, I just showed you for your reference, but I feel whenever you are doing these kind of payment gateway integrations, it is always a good idea to know what is happening behind the scenes. It is very important, especially when it comes to payments. Okay, but yeah, don't get scared, it's quite simple. Okay, yeah, so where were we? We have web.php. We did the verification. Okay, these are the three things it wants, right? Okay, by the way, I first need the API, so I'll just steal this three things. This is bad code, by the way, I'm just doing it for demonstration. I should have created some kind of a service where that service has this in their constructor, but fine, this is demo. I'll show you later on how code can be improved. But right, this is in place, API will be ready for me. Then let's have attribute. Okay, attribute is an array which for me is using square brackets. Now $request input like this. Okay, and this one is extra, right? So I have this attributes array, and this is the thing. And yeah, try and understand, this is inside a try catch. This thing by default doesn't return anything. Okay, so what will happen is, the only thing which will result if the data is not valid is, how do you say, this function will fail. It will throw an exception. Why? Because if we see the utility verify signature, can I go to this? Come on, right. See, it is doing its business logic. If hash equals, else hash equals, blah blah blah. If verified is false, right, it throws an exception. So that's why we need to handle the exception. I use request name. Does input name have any difference? No. There are so many ways, Chinmay, to get the data point. I think there is a helper function also, if I'm not wrong, with which you can actually do something like, I don't know. I could be wrong. No. Sorry. Request and something like that. This also gives you, it returns the app request. So that's something also which you can use. I mean, there are so many ways, but yeah, I don't think there is any major difference. You can use any one of them. Okay, right. So we need to do a try catch, obviously. So try, and then we have catch, the catch needs to have a particular exception, then it will be better. The documentation had signature verification error, which is same, right? So I'll use this $E. Okay, and just import it. I think I have screwed up my shortcut. Control P, no. Control Shift P, import class. Control II, class is imported. Fine, I was doing the same thing. When maybe it's 1050, so it got tired. Who knows? Okay. So this is here, and success false. Yeah, I mean, we can do something about it. For now, we'll just return response message verification failed, something like that. 400. Okay, and if this is true, I need to do a few things, and like managing the orders and stuff. But yeah, I'll see. Let me try to speed up things. All right, what have we done? So verify. Right, go back to this page. Order got created. Do I need to log or anything? No, I'll just get this message, so that's fine. Razorpay, HDFC, it picked it up. You see, preferred method, it picked it up. Right, success, come on. Right, it got verification success. That's nice. But now, how do I know that it can fail as well? Okay, let's do a simple thing. Inside this signature, I will add something. That's my own creativity, 111. And then go over here, hit refresh, click buy. Okay. Pay success. And we got a failure. So you see, this is the beauty. If anything happens to the signature which doesn't confirm with our verification, that it's a bad request, and basically terminate that. Okay. So the basic stuff is in place. Now, I know this is, it can be a little basic, but for those who are not very comfortable, let's say what we are now trying to do is complete the order process. Okay. Do I have the orders table? No, we don't. So I'll create quickly a model, PHP artisan make model. I need a model migration. I don't need a controller, and I'll call it order. Okay. I had written down what were the fields, but that's fine. It's not too difficult. I just need to remember that the first thing is going to be foreign ID. Okay. User ID. This is going to be the user who is doing the purchase. After that, we have product ID, like this. Okay. Then let's just say we have table string order ID. Okay, this is the order ID which we got when we created the first order. That's basically when we go to this buy page, right? You see this huge list of orders which I have. Correct. This order ID we should save, because we need to consolidate against this, right? So we will have to save that. So go back to migration. Where is my migration? Over here, right? Okay. we have the order ID, then we have a few more things, right? We have what? We have payment ID. Let's store that, but it can be nullable. Okay, because by default, when we create this row, we will not get the payment ID. And let's store the signature as well. Okay, and that is nullable as well. Obviously, I need to store the price. It is always good idea to store the price in your orders table, because tomorrow you may change the price, so you need to historically see what was being paid for that particular thing. So amount 10,2, that's done. Anything else do I need to do? Maybe wow, dollar table. Now this is string, but you can keep it as enum as well for faster indexing, and I mean better indexing. I need to store the status just in case. Okay, this is not nullable. It has to have some value, and let's just say the default one I know is going to be created, so I'll just store that. Okay, now orders is here. This is a big table, so I'll take a little bit of shortcut, which is protected $guarded GUARDD guarded equals this. Okay, everything is mass assignable. That's it. Okay, fine. So now I need to create the order over here. Order. Create. I won't make the mistake over here of created now. So order create. Okay, I'm doing so many things in this controller, but that's fine. It's not even a controller, it's a route. But yeah, order create, right? So let's see what all tables do we have. We have one user ID, product ID, order ID, amount. Right. So user ID, let's just hard code it to 1. I have, let's say we have only one. Product, that's good. Product ID will be product ID. This was a float, right? So create product table, price. I forgot that, so yeah. No, not this. Order ID is, it was an array, right? Yeah, cool. So this is done. What will happen now is when I go to that particular page, I'll be making an entry in my database as well that an order got created. Why the product is in the orders table instead of order details table? Right, that's a fair point. So gyro, right now I am just thinking of one purchase per order, and hence the order ID can be in this table. But yes, you are right. If I ever want to have multiple products in the same purchase, I definitely need the table structure to be one to many, where I have an order and then I have an order underscore details table, and in the order underscore details table there will be a reference to that particular order and what are the products which were purchased in that particular order. So yes, you are completely right on that. Right now we are just trying to get the basic thing in place, which is one-to-one mapping. Hence I took that shortcut. I completely agree with you on that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, So every time I hit to that page, a order will be created. Ideally, I should. By the way, Laravel has a new PR by Nuno where there is a prunable trait, right? So this is a very nice situation where if I have some orders in the table which are in the state of created and they are, let's say, a month old or something, I should ideally prune them, because whenever I'm refreshing the page, it is going to create an entry, right? Let's see. I'll go to my list of products, which right now is only one. Okay, that's beautiful. I never migrated. So MR is again, it refreshes the entire thing for me. I use it quite often. But yeah, okay. So I have now created an order. Let's see. Orders. Where are my orders? Okay, so we have an order. Okay, user ID 1, try to purchase product ID 1. How nice. And this is the order ID. So which means now if I go to Razorpay, where is my dashboard? Try to search for it. We have it here. Status is created. Right, it is. So this is in good shape. So far, so good. Now, what do we need to do next? This order got created, which is fine. But then when the verification is done, what I need to do is order where order underscore ID is going to be this. I just need to update. So what happened? Oh, sorry. I was surprised it says where was undefined and I thought, wow. But then I realized it was my boo-boo. So yes, update. What do we need to update? Fields. Payment ID. Okay. Payment signature. Let's just copy this entire thing and remove the mischief that we have done. Otherwise it won't process. Okay. And let's see. Again, I opened up Edge. Sorry. This last status was what? Clear paid. Right. So when we have verified, the status will become are the same. I'm doing a small in small, right? So this is paid. That's about it. Yes, mischief managed. Right. And yes, so I think now if I'm lucky, we should have a complete flow. User comes to my page, sees this book. I say, wow, this is interesting. Right. Payment method selected. The user decided to pay. Success happened. And then verification success. That's a bad page to show, but let's see what's the situation at the database. Right, everything is fine. So we have ID 2, user ID 1, again purchased book 1, product ID 1. And now let's look at the transactions. So inside payments, I should have order ID, right? I can look at that. So I basically did a control F. So this is highlighted, which is correct. Payment ID, correct as well. And I have kept the signature just for reference. I don't think it is generally required, but still. Okay, let me issue a refund. Let's see what is happening. Refund instantly. Currently, instant refunds are available on TPV. Fair enough. Do whatever you want. Okay, 5 to 7 working days. Will this create one more transaction? Ideally, it should. 11.3. Let me see. Oh, it should go into the refunds tab. Okay. In ADN, when I did one integration, right? Oh, okay. It says refunded. Okay. But anyways, I should see it in the refund as well, right? Yeah. So yes, I think in ADN they created a transaction again on that particular order. But yeah, that's completely on the gateway. Refund details. Okay, yeah, this is something which I was thinking will happen, but it doesn't matter. Every payment gateway has different implementation. But yeah, that's about it. I think in 1 hour 10 minutes we basically covered at least the basics of how a payment gateway is implemented, the Razorpay payment gateway. If you let me recap so that it becomes easy. What are the steps? First of all, see, we are first creating an order. Okay, whenever we need to initiate a transaction with the payment gateway, we need to first generate that order. We get the order ID, and then we take the user to this particular page. Right? This is the page where we are creating the order. When the order ID is passed to this widget, okay, yeah, that I need to refresh. Right. When this order ID is passed to this widget, if you remember this blade file we were submitting this form, and the order ID, the payment ID, and the signature was being submitted. These are part of this hidden fields, right? So that is important. So we went to Razorpay. We said that we are going to create an order of 100 rupees. Razorpay gave us an order ID. Against that order ID, we did all these things about asking the user for his card details or other details, correct? And then when the payment was made, Razorpay said, hey, you know what? I acknowledge that a payment was made for this order ID. That's how we were able to figure out that, okay, where is it? When we are here, right? When Razorpay is sending me the information back, I am able to relate with the order ID. So I'm looking at the orders table. I'm saying, yes, I have this order ID. You are saying that it is confirmed. So when the verification is done, what I can do is I can finally say that, yes, the order was created at 5:33. This is I think the UTC time. But yeah. So at 5:33:26, an order was created. The user took some time to fill up details and everything, and then Razorpay confirmed the payment, said it is verified at 5:33:37. Okay, and that's how the entire process completed. Okay, so yeah, that's about it, guys. I am planning to also, can you zoom a little? Okay. Sorry, Ray, I'm almost done. I am very sorry if the font size was not very readable. Actually, no one commented, so I assumed it was. What is the font size? I typically keep it at 18. Okay, next time maybe I'll keep it at 20 or something. But yeah, I have generally covered things. And yeah, what I was saying is in the next video, I will try to cover how to get the webhooks in place, because you know what, this is fine. We are doing a post call. Okay, by the way, I can now at least increase the font size. Oh, everything becomes so big. All right. So we are submitting the form over here, correct? When we get a confirmation back from the user, from the payment gateway. But I have personally seen that this is not the ideal way to do things, because the internet connectivity can be flaky and connection can go out. So what can eventually happen is you have a payment made for which you never received the confirmation, and you don't want to land up in that particular situation with too many customers, because how do you say, you have a payment and the user is not able to buy that book, he is not able to download the book, so he will have to come to support and say, hey, I made the payment, money got deducted, and where is my product? So to get rid of those situations, the ideal way, which many payment gateways recommend, is implementing webhooks. So what happens is when a payment is made, the Razorpay payment gateway will get that information, and Razorpay payment gateway will send a webhook to our server, which means the end user's intervention is not required. The webhook will come to our server. Our server is always online, right? That's how it is. Otherwise, you should not have a server where you are selling anything. So so you have a server where the webhook comes, and at that point you verify and you say that, okay, I acknowledge that this order ID was successfully completed. So that is something which I will tackle in my next video. On Sunday, I'm going to do a little more functionality on the video application that I am working on. But yeah, I will eventually do the webhook thing as well. Okay. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, do click on the thumbs up icon, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed it. Thank you and good night.